Welcome to the Explainer. We're jumping straight into a fascinating and honestly, absolutely critical technical topic today. If you're a developer, a technical PM, or really anyone overseeing AI integrations right now, you definitely want to tune in for this one. We're breaking down a recent, extremely quiet API update that has massive implications for both your app's performance and your billing. We'll look at what happened, why it might literally be impacting your software as we speak, and exactly how you can fix it. Let's think back for a second. Did your AI application suddenly seem, well, just a bit sluggish right around late June? Maybe your latency metrics spiked or real-time responses felt slow, but you checked your error logs and they were completely clean. Literally, nothing seemed broken, right? But the performance just wasn't there. Well, if that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. We're going to solve this little tech mystery together. Okay, Section 1, the fast mode removal.
Let's dive right into this. For those of you building with this API, Fast Mode is a specific feature that lets you explicitly request faster response speeds. And, this comes at a premium price. You're basically paying more to get your data back quicker. In your code, you'd enable this just by passing the parameter speed fast right there in your API request.
So why pay that premium? Well, there are some incredibly important use cases here. If you're building real-time apps where a user's just sitting there waiting on the other end of a chat, every single millisecond counts. Or maybe you're running massive batch processing pipelines, or you just have high throughput needs with super strict low latency requirements. In production, this premium feature isn't just some nice-to-have perk. It's absolutely essential for maintaining performance and keeping your cloud costs predictable. Now, here is the pivotal event. On June 29, 2026, Anthropic quietly made a huge change. They completely removed fast mode support from one specific model, Claude Opus 4.6. So if your codebase was hard-coded to hit this specific version and request fast mode, well, June 29th was the day the rug got pulled out from under you. But honestly, it's how they removed it that's the real story here. Which brings us to Section 2, the silent behavior change. This is where things get incredibly dangerous for your app's performance. Normally in software engineering, if you request a premium feature that doesn't exist anymore, you'd expect an API error, right? You want the system to fail loudly so your monitors catch it and your team can jump in and fix it. But here, no error. The API just quietly accepts your request and processes it at standard speed. It is a completely silent failure. So what does that actually mean for you day to day? It means your requests silently run at standard speeds and you get billed at standard rates. If your code is still sending speed fast to Claude Opus 4.6, the API is just completely ignoring it. It slows your app down to standard processing time, charges you the standard rate, and if you aren't obsessively monitoring your execution speed on a granular level, your application has been downgraded and you're flying completely blind. I absolutely have to highlight this quote from the source material because it hits the nail right on the head. Most breaking changes announce themselves loudly. This one doesn't. That is the real danger of an unannounced, silent change. Developers are incredibly busy. You set up the integration, you verify it works, and you move on to the next sprint. If you did that with Claude Opus 4.6 before June 29th, you could be running significantly slower right now without even realizing it. But don't worry, we're not just going to leave you with the problem. Let's move on to Section 3, auditing your API usage. So how do we actually audit this to catch the silent bug? It's the million-dollar question. If the API isn't throwing an error when fast mode fails, how on earth do you know what speed was actually used? You can't just trust that because you asked for fast mode, you got it. You need hard proof. Now, what's really interesting here is the new audit method Anthropic introduced. You actually need to check the usage.speed field directly inside your API response. This response now explicitly reports the actual speed your request ran at. This is your new single source of truth. So if you're at all unsure whether fast mode is working right now, you need to go check your system logs for that exact field. If it doesn't say fast, you've been silently downgraded. All right, Section 4, migrating for better performance. Once you've checked those logs and confirmed you're a victim of this fallback, it's time to fix it. Get your speed and your billing predictability back. The crucial point here is this. If you depend on fast mode, you cannot stay on Claude Opus 4.6. It's just gone from that model. You absolutely must migrate your API calls to Claude Opus 4.8, which still fully supports it. Just crossing your fingers and passing speed fast to the old model isn't going to cut it anymore. And look, if you manage these integrations, keeping up with these quiet little changes is a massive headache. If you want a really comprehensive look at how fast mode works across all the Claude models,
definitely check out the resource from our source material. The complete Claude Master Manual is over at claudemaster.net. It breaks the whole API down in plain English, stripping away all the marketing fluff, which is exactly what we need when we're debugging production stuff. Let's quickly summarize the actionable takeaways so you know exactly what to do the minute this explainer wraps up. It's literally a tiny change in your code, but a massive change in impact. Step 1. Go check the usage.speed field in your API responses today to confirm what speed you're actually getting. Step 2. If you need fast mode, immediately update your code and migrate from 4.4 to Claude Opus 4.8. I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Software doesn't always break with some giant flashing red error screen. Sometimes it just quietly compromises. So are your API integrations silently running slower than you think? Don't just assume they're fine. Go audit that code, check your logs, and make sure your app is delivering the premium performance your users expect. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.